Good afternoon, dear friends. I welcome welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Mamta. Am I audible?
Okay, Mrs. Yes, ma'am, audible. Mrs.
Okay,
Vinaya
yes,
Savant is
I'm.
an accomplished and passionate educator. Yes, ma'am, you want to say something?
No, I'm audible. I was just trying to listen to what you're saying. It was
Okay,
getting cut in between. Yeah, you can go ahead. Sorry.
okay, okay. Mrs. Vinaya Savant is an accomplished with rich experience in teaching and leadership positions. She holds a master's in economics and bachelor's in education from Mrs. Savant is a recipient of the Outstanding Core Member for IF from the British Council and also received Outstanding Teacher Awards from many of her previous institutions. Mrs. Vinaya's experience spans state, CBSE, CIE, and have taught in various universities in India, including Bangalore, Mumbai, and Mangalore. She has held leadership positions in middle, secondary, and higher secondary institutions and has extensive teaching experience spanning grades 1 to grade 12. Welcome to Hello Kids, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you, Ms. Mamta. And good afternoon, lovely audience outright there. It's really wonderful to see so many people still thinking about parenting. And when Ms. Mamta reached out to me, and when I saw her mail, and she giving me a topic to speak to the parents of Hello Kids, like I was thinking, what can be the topic, or what should be the topic at this particular moment of time. And yes, of course, nothing else, but I could only think of parenting with love and logic. So I would extend my sincere thanks and gratitude to Mr. Preetham Agarwal, and also Hello Kids, of course, yes, for giving me this opportunity to address this wonderful audience. So hello everybody over here. So I think I will just share my slide. Mamta, if you can you see my slide? Yeah, thank you. It's all about parenting, parenting, and parenting. So I'm here today to speak about parenting with a different way. You all would have heard about it. That's love and logic. Yes, of course. An effective parent only rolls about, or it just centers around the love. Love is not only the one thing which we are supposed to give, or it's not only the permissive thing which we are supposed to. Love doesn't tolerate any disrespect, but also love is that powerful enough to allow the kids to make the mistakes and permit them to live with their own consequences of their own mistakes. Let's give them that time. Let's give them that place to do mistakes and understand and learn from mistakes. So today I'm here to address my wonderful lovely parents and all the lovely audience who would always, I think at the end of this session they would really agree with me that those consequences of our love, when it is accompanied with empathy, with compassion, understanding, the child will never grow with a disappointment or will never have a frustration or a pain. And a child who will have this kind of frustration, pain, or disappointment will always have a hit in his home, his or her home, and will have a very unpleasant atmosphere at home. So that's why we are here to understand what is love and how I can actually spread the love with a little bit of magic of logic in it. So love is very, very important part, and it teaches them how to make a decision. So here I am to tell you that allow your children to take their own decision, be so much empathetic, and if you are going to do that at this point of time, I'm sure that when they arrive into some challenging situations like pandemic or any other thing, let's not have any one more role of pandemic anytime. And let's pray that our children will not have that. but at least they will have some clues that how they are supposed to make a decision. To understand this, I have just put across 5 different principles of love and logic. Now, this can be different or it can be also more when added up to your expertise and your situations when you're parenting your child. You would have a lot more different principles which can arise. Just putting it through. First one, which very precisely says preserve and enhance the child's self concept. Very important that we need to preserve our child's self concept. If the cognitive appraisal of a child is not being processed or one's ability, then he or she will always will not succeed in the life and will struggle to yield a success. So let's allow them to have their own self understanding. Let us allow them to solve their own problems. So the second point says teach your children how to own and solve the problems. We as a parent are always trying to be so much secured among our children, and we constantly keep going round our children and be there for each and everything which they do. The research processes also says that the love and the logic focuses on an engineering situations which encourage the children to struggle and then to solve the problem, but in receiving them from the adults and achieve a success, to attribute their success and their effort. Combine the consequences with high levels of empathy and warmth. I think in this busy world across, like 9 to 12 duty, etc., we have actually forgotten how to share that empathy, how to share that warmth with our children. So combine both the levels of empathy and warmth with your child at least once in a day to ensure that your child is really feeling that yes, you are there for your child no matter what happens. You do everything you want to do for your child, but at the end of the day, if you do not show, or if you will not show your child that or you will not give that affection to the child, I think all what you do is down the drain. Build an adult child relationship. I don't think so. Like, nowadays, I think we should more involve our children in small decision making, and try to bring them and, try to get them along with us. Try to involve them. So when you involve them in small decision making, they are always there with you and they understand that they are also having some value, and hence they try to also make sure that in a long run they will have a wonderful life and they'll be able to take a lot of decisions on their own. Enhancement of a self concept. Perceive and enhance the child's self concept. I again will say the same thing. We need to understand that how much are we giving our child an opportunity to do something. How much are we giving a child to give his own space to try something new. So enhance his concept so that he or she is able to build up able to build up his own confidence, and then builds a better place around himself. Problem solving process, identifying the problem. Let the child identify the problem on his or her own, and let the child face the problem. Let the child brainstorm with the solutions, evaluate the solutions, and then implement the solutions. We as an adult, we would always be there with them to see if my child, like when your child is walking on a road, for example, just don't always cover the child or secure the child from all this side. Try to walk one step behind the child, so that in case if your child is trying to, if he's falling, you should be there to support the child. But just don't make the child forget how to walk. Let the child walk on his or her own. Let him put his footsteps ahead. Let him, sometimes it's okay to fall, and it's okay to get hurt, because once if he gets that, he experiences that hurt, he or she will actually learn how not to do or not to get into this situation again. And building a adult and child relationship, have an increased rate of conversations with them. A family mission statement, a kind of a family version, where at least once in a day make sure that you all sit together, have your one time, grab one time's lunch or a dinner with your children and the entire family together. This basically helps you to strengthen the relationships in the world of technology which we are moving ahead. It's a very simple rules of this love and logic. It is nothing something which we all cannot do. If you just remember these 4 basic things, that we need to understand that How are we supposed to set limits as an adult? So, setting a limits for yourself without any anger when you're parenting, without any lecture or without any threat or repeated warnings. Sometimes we constantly, keep unknowingly or knowingly, we keep saying them, oh, I told you that it's going to happen. I said to you, the tone of the voice which you are using with your children, the way you are talking to them, and if you keep repeating the same statement again and again over the period of days in front of your children, I think after a while they lose an interest to even listen to you. And the second rule of purely love logic is power struggles. Do not struggle with the power that, I am the head of the house, or I am the one who rules the house. So I am the elder here. So let me make the decision. So basically, this I word, when I say this I, so that comes, and that goes to your children also. So try not to be having this power struggle with your children. Try not to nag some of the topic. Give sometimes some authority for them also to take a decision, and in a loving way, so they automatically give you back their power. They do not take any powers from you. Third important rule of love and logic is accountable. Make them accountable. Like how we sometimes, your children might be asking you all some questions like, Mama, aren't you supposed to do this and go? Aren't you supposed to make a breakfast for us? Yes, we am. Yes, darling, I'm supposed to make a breakfast. I couldn't do it. So can you just help me to do that? There's a simple way to take it ahead. There is a simple way to make sure that they are also accountable. So it comes like when we are accountable for something, I think the children also learn to be accountable. So make them accountable for their own problems. Make them accountable for their mistakes. Don't take their mistakes. Like suppose if a favorite showpiece has been fallen down and suddenly the father in the house enters. I'm sorry, not making any fathers as super villains over here. Usually moms are the super villains. So mom enters and then somebody says that a father or a mother in the house will say that, no, no, this happened because of me. I put it down by mistake. Even if your child has done it, let him or her accept it and let him or her face that problem. Do not take the problem on you or yourself to safeguard your child. What will happen is over the period of time, unknowingly, the child will always tend or look out for somebody to take his blame or somebody to take out his side of his mistakes. Last is the adult's empathy. Empathy has to be locked in inside our parenting. I think this is one part which every parent has to have it, because uh, you have to make sure that empathy is there and look into before you deliver something, whether it is even a small as such small statement as just shut up, do not. Think about that your small word of being quiet, or you're asking your child to be quiet, what way you have said, how you have delivered this affects a lot to your parent, to your child. So make sure that you are very, very empathetic when you are among your child. We have some problems. We have a number of problems as an adult. We would have our job related problems, our house related problems, our family pressure, peer pressure, race. We are running in a race, but these problems, when we come in front of our children, we have to keep them aside. And sometimes it is very difficult for us to just leave that problem and move ahead. And then when we come inside, we expect the child who is waiting for you from morning just to see you, just to have some word. Probably, the child would have gone into or had a bad day. Now what is it, what can be a bad day for a child? There can be n number of days. He would have not liked his tiffin, or while he's eating his tiffin would have just fallen down. As simple as the internet connection didn't work, so he couldn't play the game, or his day was bad because his friend did not come to play with him, or he was just feeling lonely. Now, when the child feels lonely, or when the child's day did not go well, the child will not come and tell you that I had a hard day and can we talk. It's we adults who will tell that. So the child will only utter one sentence, and that the child will say is, will you play with me? Mama, can we play some game? Can we have some me time? Can we have some family time? Can I play with you? When your child all of a sudden asks you that, can I play with you? This should be a clear understanding for you that today your child's day was very bad, and you are here, and he's expecting you to make that day better. So I'm sure that every day we really fear with some of the kinds of fears which keeps running in our mind, saying that whatever we went through, let my child not go through it, and let my child not go to such kind of circumstances or situations which I have faced in my life. But at point of time, I feel allow the child to face some situations himself or herself. Be there, talk to the child, spend some me time with the child, and find out how best way you can actually make the child's day better. Going ahead, there are some different styles of parenting. We all know about this, typical particular style of parenting, and this style of parenting is called as helicopter parenting. As a parent, probably I feel nowadays it's more equal. Earlier, we used to see only the mother hovering around the child all throughout the time, right from morning till the child goes to the bed. Like, did you get up? Okay, child, wake up. Okay, go to brush your teeth, and then get dressed up, get your breakfast, go to your school. So we keep hovering our child for every work which the child is supposed to be doing. So this kind of parenting is a little dangerous because it tends to stop the child's freedom to express. It tends to stops the child's freedom to do something which he has to do. Or sometimes also unknowingly, it may happen that the child gets dominated with its own self, because you're constantly there to do the work for him or her, or guide him what is the next thing which he or she has to do. So what happens is, on a long run, we see that the self-worth of the child's self-esteem goes down. So try not to be use the helicopter style of parenting. Go with the drill style. The another style of parenting is drill sergeants. I would not suggest any parent to even do the drill style of parents sergeants, because this is that particular kind of parent who constantly have a list of things which the child is supposed to do. A list of things like, okay, when I come back from the work, A, this cupboard should be clean, B, this work has to be done, C, the fruits has to be finished, or D, something has to be done. Okay, so I have listed out the things. Where is the time, or where is the list in this list? Where is something which the child should do it on his or her own? Try to be a consultant to your child. Be a consultant parent, be a good listener, and don't try to control over the parent or over the child. The best way to do, or the best way to do the parenting and use the style of love logic in your life is to use the magic words. A small simple magic words like, beta, are you okay? The word beta, the word bacha, I still today wait for somebody to call out that particular word. Sweetheart, are you okay? Sweetie, what was the day? How was it? Use those words. The children still wait to hear those words from you. So use some magic words which the child it makes your child feel that you are very closer to your heart, irrespective of whatever busy schedule you have and how much ever you are working. And every child is unique. So let that uniqueness of the child remain there. Do not eat away that uniqueness of the child by telling him that, beta, tum engineering kar loge na, aap doctory karoge. Yes, I understand that engineering, doctory, or something which is very important for you because somewhere in your life you wanted to do it. So let your child do whatever he or she wanted to do. Parenting is not a shared relationship, or it's not based on a relationship, but it's also not a procedure. It's a relationship which we are sharing, it's a relationship which we are doing, but do not expect the child also to, that I have done for you, so you do it back for me. We all are in a generation, like we as a parent are in the generation from the millenniums, and we are that generation where we were only taught that, okay, engineering and doctor, and these are my high skills and high profiles, I'm not supposed to do anything, so I'm constantly being there. But the generation which we are dealing with is the Gen Z generation, also called as Generation Alpha, or the new name which we have given them is Generation Corona. But this generation is born with technology. So imagine that everything which we are saying, they already know it from where they're supposed to be. Thanks to our Google Master, where everything the Google will say and the Google will start giving you out. So understand that this generation, the needs of this generation is completely different, and how we can take this ahead. Our wise parents will always know that, as we all will agree upon to this, that our responsibility is to raise a good child with a good character than good grades. Of course, grade is important. It's not that the grade is not important, but yes, how best way can I get this grades? If I take care of the character, I think the grades will automatically take care of themselves. I urge my parents also to worry about the kind of education the child and the kids are getting nowadays in the internet. So give them that technology, give them everything they want to, but also have a kind of overlook upon what are they seeing, what is that is being shown, or there is a vast world in the internet. So make sure that there is something, that this internet doesn't takes your child away from you. Empathy, I again say and come again back to the same thing, something which is very, very important when I talk about this word as love and logic. Empathy opens the mind, and it is something which really takes you to the heart. So if you have to connect with your child, be empathetic towards your child, and step into his shoes, step into her shoes, and then think that, okay, this is what my child would be thinking. Think according to that Zen Alpha generation, and think about that Corona generation. Never take any decision at the heat of an emotion. You're very emotional, and at this particular moment, you have a lot of things in your mind. Please do not take any decision, because when you take such decisions, your children tend to follow the same footsteps which you are doing. I am there for my child every time, no matter what happens, yes. But please, I urge every parent here in this forum that let your child make his or her own world. Do not make that perfect world for him or her. If you create that perfect world for your child, then it's for sure that when your child grows big, or like when your child becomes big, he or she doesn't fit into the world which is there outside. So give your child something which that child would love to be there. Let the child make his or her own world with his or her own mistakes. To sum it up, everything together, starting from love to logical parent, avoid arguments and the power struggles with the kids. As I said, that we need to understand that how much can I talk in front of the child, and how much should I talk, and how much should I allow the child to talk. Let's have that healthy conversations with our children every day. Stay calm in any kind of stressful parenting situations, because if you are not calm, you cannot tell your child to be calm in any situation. Put end to the whining, tantrums, and back talks. We always tell the children, you always do this, you always cry for this. अरे यार तुम बहुत रोते हो कहीं पर भी आओ तो वो इसीलिए रोते हैं क्योंकि हम भी रोते हैं. They cry because we too cry. They cry because we whine over some situations. So if we do not throw tantrums and whine on situations which and in front of them, I think they will also not learn it. Show them, make them learn the discipline, give them that discipline, the way, or the path of discipline. But the path of discipline will always never should be shown in any kind of anger or frustration. Make sure that they all are shown the path of discipline without any kind of anger and frustration. And I'm sure you all, you're being a wonderful parent and wonderful people, you can do this. Develop more confidence as a parent. If I constantly say as I said, then the child will also say I. So develop that confidence in your in your child, that yes, whatever you have done is right, whatever you're doing is right. Let's move ahead better. Why not try this? Give some small push-ups to our children on an everyday basis, where the child feels that yes, I can do something. If the child has done something wrong, do not just outrightly tell the child that, oh, I knew that you're going to do this. That's why I said you don't do that. More to use this kind of words in front of them. Instead of that, we can just try, It's okay, beta, don't worry. Let's see how to solve it. Let's see how to do it. So let's be that parent who develops more confidence in our children. Raise a responsible children. Yes, of course, we badly need to address this at this particular moment, because I would say that Corona, in one way, has given us a very positive thing to spend a little more time. It gave us a more time with our children, being work from home or work from online. We were able to spend a little extra time, and were able to monitor, were able to see our children, how they are growing. Raise them as a responsible children. Raise them more empathetic towards, not only towards yourself, themselves, and others around, also others around them, at the same time also to the environment. And always allow your child to feel great about themselves. It is nothing wrong to feel great about themselves. It's nothing wrong to see the mirror 10 times. Sometimes we always say, you're watching the mirror so many times, you're going to fall sick, because we learn that. Yes, of course, we learn that. But it doesn't happen like that. Let the child live. Let the child understand. Let the child feel whatever he or she wants to feel. And there is much more, if I have to talk about this love logic and parenting, for a child to think about how he or she has to. The last but not least thing which I would like to urge upon to one and every parent sitting over here, and that would be, please do not do any kind of judgment on your child. No judgment, because that's why if given a chance, I would take a speaker loudly and say, no judgment to anybody. Remember that every child, whatever the child is, like, however, whichever age group the child is from, the child is a gift from God, and which is one of our richest blessings which we can ever think of and we can ever get. So do not attempt to mold him in the image of yourself, your father, your mother, your neighbors, or your brother or sister or anyone. Let that child be what he or she wants to. Each child is an individual and should be permitted to be his or her own self. I truly agree to this point. Please do not be judgmental. Thank you. Wishing every parent over here a very happy parenting with love, little logic, and the magic which you can spread as a parent to them. If you all have any questions, you feel free to please put your questions on the comment section. Thank you, Mamta.